Hello student, welcome once again. Students, in previous class we had studied about study of weather. In this chapter we had studied weather and climate and difference between weather and climate, elements of the weather and atmospheric pressure. Today I am going to teach you pressure belts of the world. So what is the pressure belt? A pressure belt is a region on the Earth's surface which is dominated by either high pressure cells or low pressure cells. The main pressure belts found on the surface of the Earth are: first is equatorial low pressure belt. You can see in this image, this is the pressure belts of the Earth and this is the equator line, 0 degree centigrade, and this is the equator line, and this region is called the equatorial low pressure belt. The region near the equator is generally the hottest. Therefore, the air in this region heats up, expands and becomes lighter. Thereafter, this light air rises, creating a low pressure belt in this region. This belt is also called the doldrums or region of calm condition, as there is an absence of surface winds. Second is subtropical high pressure belts. These belts of high pressure exist between 30 degree and 35 degree north and south. You can see in this image there is a subtropical high pressure belt and this is 30 degree north and 30 degree south latitudes. The air that ascends in the equatorial region start to descend here after losing its heats. The descending air covers and settles near the subtropic, creating a high pressure belt. This belt is also called the horse latitudes. Subtropical high pressure belt is also called the horse latitudes. Next belt is subpolar low pressure belts. This belt extends between 60 degree north and 65 degree latitudes is in both hemispheres. You can see 60 degree north and 60 degree south in both hemispheres. This subpolar low pressure belt is found. Moreover, because of the rotation of the Earth, air swings towards the equator, causing low density in this region. This creates a partial vacuum, creating a low pressure belt. Here the air column is so thin that the air can hardly exert any pressure. Last pressure belt is polar high pressure belts around the North Pole and South Pole. You can see in this image, this is a North Pole and this is a South Pole. The air is so cold and heavy that it is unable to rise high above the surface. The weight of the cold air creates a high pressure belt over the poles. These high pressure belts are called polar high pressure belts. The pressure belts described above are not permanent in character. They keep shifting with the movement of the sun. Air pressure depends on temperature and therefore as the sun moves from one tropic to another, the pressure belts also do the same. This phenomena is called the shifting of the pressure belt. So students, you learn about the pressure belts. First is equatorial low pressure belt, which is found in the equator line, and second is subtropical high pressure belt, and third subpolar low pressure belt, and last polar high pressure belt, North Pole and South Pole. Next is humidity. Humidity refers to the amount of moisture or water vapor present in the air. The actual amount of moisture present is called absolute humidity, which is expressed in grams per cubic meter of air. Humidity is an important element of weather. Air with a high percentage of relative humidity has great potential for condensation and precipitation. Humid air also absorbs more heat and retains it for a longer time than dry air. High humidity makes us feel uncomfortable as it slows down the rate at which perspiration from the body evaporates. Next is condensation. What is condensation? Condensation is the process by which water vapor in the air gets converted into tiny droplets of water or ice. It is the opposite of evaporation. What is evaporation? When liquid turns into gas, it's called the evaporation. Evaporation takes place when air is dry, but condensation occurs only after air is saturated. What is the meaning of saturated? When air holding maximum amount of water vapor, it is called the saturated air. The different forms of condensation are clouds, mist, fog, dew and frost. Next is precipitation. When tiny droplets of water in the atmosphere join to form bigger droplets that are too heavy to remain suspended in the air, they fall to the earth's surface. This release of atmospheric moisture onto the earth's surface is called precipitation. Rain, drizzle, snow, sleet, hail are all different forms of precipitation. First is rain. It is the most common form of precipitation. It consists of large drops of water. Second is drizzle. Light rain with drops of smaller size is called drizzle. Third is snow. It is the feathery flakes of frozen moisture that fall on the earth's surface when the cloud temperature and the ground temperature remain below the freezing point. Sleet. It is a mixture of rain and snow. And last form of precipitation is hail. Frozen raindrops form ice pellets and fall as hail. It is the most destructive forms of precipitation. Rainfall. The three major types of rainfall are convectional rainfall, relief or orographic rainfall, and cyclonic or frontal rainfall. First is convectional rainfall. In regions closer to the equator, the rate of evaporation is very high. Air gets heated because of the high temperature. Students, you can see in this image, this is the heated surface. This is a surface and this is a heated surface. Air gets heated because of the high temperature and starts rising in the form of convection currents. You can see as the air rises up, it expands and cools. The cooling causes condensation, which results in heavy downpours. This rain is accompanied by thunder and lightning, and since it mostly occurs around 4 p.m., it is often called the 4 o'clock showers. Next type of rainfall is relief or orographic rainfall. Sometimes moisture-bearing winds are forced to rise because of the presence of a physical barrier, such as a mountain in their path. Such winds expand and cool as they rise up. the slope of the mountain or plateau, and on further cooling form clouds. When saturated, these clouds give rain. This rain is called relief rain because it is caused by the relief feature coming in the way of the wind. For example, the mountain or plateau. Student, you can see in this image, this is the air, moist air rising and cooling, and here is the mountain. When air cooling up, the slope of mountain or plateau, and or further cooling from clouds. When saturated, these clouds give rain. This rain is called the relief rain because it is caused by the relief feature. So what is the relief feature? Relief features are mountain, plateaus. These features all are called the relief features. Next types of rainfall is cyclonic or frontal rainfall. This type of rainfall occurs when warm air and cold air masses meet and form a front. When warm air and cold air meet, then they becomes a front. As cold air is denser, it remains close to the ground, while the warm air rises above it. You can see in this image, because the cold air is denser, so it remains in the land, and warm air is light, so it rises up, and as the warm air rises, it expands and cools, and the moisture in it condenses in form clouds. And when the warm air expands, and then it makes the cloud. These clouds bring rainfall. You can see in this image, these clouds bring the rainfall. Warm air rising up, and it's made a cloud. Then these clouds are become in rain form. Cyclonic rainfall mostly occurs in temperate and tropical regions. Now I am going to tell you about the wind. Wind is air in motion. Wind blows from a region of high pressure to a region of low pressure. It is thus a horizontal movement of air that helps in the transfer of heat on the surface of the earth. Wind cannot be seen but is felt. It has both direction and speed, and therefore can be measured. First is planetary winds. Planetary winds are also called permanent or prevailing winds, as they blow the year round in the same areas. First wind is trade winds. Trade winds blow from the subtropical high pressure belts, horse latitude, towards the equatorial low pressure belt. So students, you can see in this image, there is a different types of winds, and this is equator line, and in equator lines, this area is a low pressure belt area, and it is also called a doldrum area. They are constant in straight and direction, and are therefore called a trade winds. These winds blow towards the equator from the northeast in the northern hemisphere, and from the southeast in the southern hemisphere, which is why they are known as northeast trade winds in the northern hemisphere, and in the southern hemisphere it is called the southeast trade winds. Their direction is determined by Ferrel's law, which states that a body moving over the surface of the earth will be deflected to its right in the northern hemisphere and its left in the southern hemisphere because of the Coriolis force caused by the rotation of the earth. This phenomena happens as a result of the Earth's rotation and applies particularly to oceanic and air movements. Whenever these winds blow on shore, for example from the sea to land, they pick up moisture and bring rainfall. So student, as you know, the equator area is a low pressure area and subtropical area is a high pressure area. So wind blow from high pressure to low pressure area. Prevailing westerlies, they blow from the subtropical high pressure belt to the subpolar low pressure belt. For example, between 30° north and 60° north and south. They are not constant in straight or direction. These winds are also known as southwesterlies in the northern hemisphere and northwesterlies in the southern hemisphere, based on the direction from which they blow. Wherever these winds blow on shore in the northern hemisphere, they bring rainfall. In the southern hemisphere, there is an absence of land masses and the westerlies becomes very strong, especially between 40° south and 50° south. Therefore, this belt is called the roaring forties. So these areas are called the doldrum area, and this area high pressure belt and low pressure belt. Between this area, these areas are called the horse latitude. Next is polar winds. They blow from the polar high pressure belts to the subpolar low pressure belts. These are the polar belts, North Pole and South Pole, and here is the high pressure belt and this is also a high pressure belt. So they blow from the polar high pressure belts to the subpolar low pressure belts. In the northern hemisphere, their direction is variable, but their direction is more regular in the southern hemisphere. These winds are known as north polar easterlies and south polar easterlies. In the northern and southern hemisphere respectively. These winds are cold and dry as they blow from the cold ice caved regions. All the above mentioned planetary wind belts of the earth shift slightly northward or southward following the apparent movement of the sun. So students, it's all for today. Keep revising and learn it. Thank you.